In the not-too-distant present, a challenge unlike any other begins. 3 men, 1 year, 0 game purchases. They stand against temptation, towering backlogs, and the endless lure of digital sales. This is the Year of Shame Challenge. A test of willpower, a battle against impulse, a journey into the heart of unplayed games, where only discipline survives.
Hello and welcome to the July episode for Year of Shame podcast, where 3 more mature players trying to add games to their backlog and just clear as many as they can. This is, as I said, July. Unfortunately, you've only got 2 members here today. Rich couldn't be with us. He's feeling a bit ill, and it's not syphilis. So, sorry, Rich. I swore I wouldn't tell anybody. But I have got Stuart here with me, and unfortunately, I'm here as well. So, Stuart, how are you?
I'm good. Yourself? We're all syphilis-free, at least.
Yeah, I can say that. To the best of my knowledge, we're all syphilis-free. Oh, God. Sorry, it popped into my head, Rich. Sorry. He definitely hasn't got syphilis. We can stress that. Oh, God. That's a really good start. One thing I want to say, apologies if you didn't see any notification that we were recording last month or even this month. It seems we're having difficulties with the main MLG group. Stu and I are on the naughty list and can't post to the main group. So I think Rich is still currently able to, which is quite good. But if you didn't see the posts, that's your own fault. Join the Year of Shame group. Okay? There you go. That's my public message for this episode. Well, at least one of them. So, Stuart, do you want to get into what you've been doing, seeing as you didn't turn up last month?
Yeah, so last month I was on a boat in the middle of Central Europe. I made the mistake whilst we were in Poland of saying that to one of the tour guides that I'd never been to Eastern Europe before. And she got extremely offended and said, "We're not Eastern Europe, we're Central Europe." So There you go. Yeah, they don't view themselves as Eastern Europe. They are very much Central Europe. So I was on a bus and a boat tour around there. I got very sick on the plane over. And so the first day in Prague, I ended up spending a couple of hours in the hospital. Very, very impressive sort of set of tests that they did. They checked for every single thing. So that's how I know I don't have syphilis either. And I think it ended up costing me a grand total of about 13 euros. You know, it was just phenomenally cheap. Yeah, it was amazing.
Oh, that's good.
Once I'd recovered from Prague, though, we had a fantastic trip. You know, we traveled Prague to Berlin, Berlin to Warsaw, round to Krakow, down to Budapest, and then we got off the coach and we got onto a riverboat, and we went from Budapest in Hungary all the way up through Austria, into Germany, and then all the way up into Amsterdam. And so 25 days later, we got to the end of that and flew home via Bangkok. And in the process of doing that, I managed to pick up another head cold. So I'm over travel for the time, I think. I've still got this nagging cough that I might have to keep bouncing between mute and unmute on this recording just so I don't deafen everybody. But definitely a very, very relaxing holiday, despite the 2 bouts of illness that bookended it. The one thing I did do on this tour... Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
It sounds absolutely amazing, that trip.
It was.
Like a dream.
Except I had a couple of days where we didn't have much to do in some of the cities we were in. And I had 2 attempts at going to a retro computer museum. One of them was in Krakow, and the other was in Budapest. And so when I went to the one in Krakow, it ended up being a boarded up building that was only open on Saturday after 3 p.m. or Sunday morning. So I couldn't get in there because I was there on a Wednesday. And when I got to the one in Budapest, it was way out in the middle of nowhere. So I took this, I took an Uber all the way out there, got dropped off and realized that I had no mobile phone reception. wandered around an area of what was a university, trying to find a specific building that this museum was in, only to be told by somebody that was in the next building that the proprietor had passed away a couple of weeks ago, and it was no longer open to the public because there was nobody to look after it. So 2 strikes out for 2. Didn't get to see any. I could see a lot of them through the window of the building, but that was as close as I got. But then I had to try and figure out how to get back to the boat, and with no mobile phone reception, I couldn't order an Uber. So I had to walk about 2 k's, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're as unfit as me, and when the temperatures were like 40 plus, that was a stressful day. That was a very stressful day. So I was glad to get back to the boat just in time to go on to the next place and relax with a couple of glasses of wine on the boat and not have to think about any sort of travel plans. So that was the major part of last month. One of the things that happened at the very beginning of last month, just after we'd recorded, was Chris Payne from Quantum Soup Studios reached out to me again on that game I was playing that was a lot like the Sentinel called Anun. And he was extremely responsive and very open to working through the problem I was having. It only took him 10 minutes to figure it out and to give me a little single fix that I could apply to my install. And then about 5 minutes later, I completed the last level, and it's now 100% completed. I'm so impressed by the level of dedication he has to that game, given that it's now 6 years old, and given that his original studio is now wrapped up. So Quantum Soup Studios is unfortunately no longer a thing, but he has moved on to a new company called Pattern Walk Studios, so I'll be watching out what they come up with in the future.
That's really cool of him.
Yeah. Very, very cool. And then the last thing that I've been up to since we last recorded, or since I last recorded, is I managed to pick up an Amstrad PPC 640 luggable computer. And I only picked it up 2 days ago. And this is obviously made by Amstrad. Luggable PC, dual floppies, 640K RAM. It's got a NEC V20 CPU in it, which is like an old XT compatible CPU. Made in 1987. And when I shared it with you guys on the Discord chat, Richard made me feel really, really old when he pointed out that his mum used to use one of these when she was working from home. And I was like, wow, how old am I?
That's I saw that comment.
Yeah. So
that's
all
amazing.
I've been up to. And it's in phenomenal condition. I mean, you open it up and the battery casing, because it just runs off of C-cell batteries. It takes 10 of the damn thing. So when you put it in, I don't think it'll be very luggable anymore. It'll weigh about 400 kilos. But the battery case is absolutely spotless. There's no sign of there ever having been batteries in this thing. The only thing it is missing is a boot disk. So I've just bought a 720K floppy off of some guy in the UK that hopefully he will post it to me and not send it through the X-rays at the airport. And when it gets here, it'll still be readable. That's the only thing it's missing for this to make it complete. So I'm looking forward to getting that up and running.
It looked amazing. The monitor as well just pops up off the thing. It's just it's such a throwback to old PCs. And you said luggable. It's supposed to be a portable piece, but it looks
luggable.
Huge.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, the handle on it makes it look like a briefcase or a suitcase.
I'm holding up the 3 floppies that I have in my collection, and none of these 3 are readable by it because they're all high-density floppies. One of them originally had Commander Keenan, The Secret of the Oracle on it, so I don't know if anybody's interested in that, but I've got a copy here if you need it.
So is that the discs are that size, but just not the high-density version? Yeah,
so they came in 2 formats. So there's a little hole on the side of it, and that signifies that it was able to store 1.4 megabytes. If it didn't have the hole, it was a standard definition disk, and it only stored 720K. And this thing has only got 720K drives in it, so you can't read high-density disks.
But it has 2 drives. That's quite flash.
Yeah, no hard drives, just dual floppies.
Oh my god!
What have you been up to, Brian?
Me, let me see. The past month, I mentioned that my PC has been threatening to update to Windows 11, and I could not stop it no matter what I did. There was no way to cancel the update. I just came back to my PC one day and said, we're going to update. Do you want to do it now or do you want to do it later? So I kept saying later, and then eventually I said, go ahead, do it, get it over with. And it couldn't go through because there wasn't enough space on my hard drive. Because I have a hard drive with very little space. So it kept failing, and every day I came back, it kept trying to do it again. But eventually it's gone through, and I've got to say, I dislike Windows 11. It has done, the one good thing it has fixed the memory leak in a program that I use, Directory Opus. It's from back in the Amiga days. It's like a file explorer, but another version of File Explorer, just a bit higher spec. It used to give you tabs, which I believe Windows now does natively in File Explorer.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's like I had so many hacks and tweaks put into Windows 10. I have a dual screen laptop with one screen above the other, and I had the toolbar on the side on the bottom screen, and I've now had to install Windhawk to try and get the same. And I used to have to just double click on the taskbar to get the task manager to pop up, and now I can't get that. It's all these little tweaks that I put in, spent years. There's loads of little software I used to be able to buy there's one called Bins, which used to put like a pop-out menu on the taskbar, and you could put all your programs in there. So you had one icon, hovered over it, and then it exploded. It's popped up with maybe 5 or 6 different programs. It's really neat, but the guy has stopped supporting. He said he wouldn't support Windows 11. He's killed it. So I'm missing some of the stuff I had. Like it was €5 or £5 at the time I bought it, but it's no longer supported. So, but I'm annoyed. Other than that, seems to be okay. I just don't like it as much. But I hate when you hit the Windows key, the menu that pops up. I'd hate that. Even on Windows 10, I was using Start 10 from Stardock. That was giving me a modified version. But if I want to do it on this, I have to buy the updated version, Start 11. So Stardock has gone to subscription models like fuck, just let me buy software. I want to buy it. Just let me buy it. Fuck, I don't know. Excuse my language. I'm trying. It's hot and humid. So I use fences as well.
Oh yeah,
tidy up. And that still works. But yeah, if you want to update, and it keeps telling me now, I want to update. And again, it's a subscription model from Stardock. The other thing, do you use abbreviation software or text expanders? I use quite a bit.
No, I don't. No.
So I use them for email. So you just put in the first couple of letters, and it expands out to a full, the first paragraph of an email. And do the same for the end. I use it quite a bit. I used to use it when I was doing pharmacy because I'd only put in the first couple of letters of a drug, and it would fill in the whole thing for me. So it was quite neat. And this guy, I'm gonna call you out, you nasty person. He had a software called Breevy, as in, abbreviate, just Breevy it was called. And he bought version 3. I got it on sale. It was great. Version 4 came out, and he sent out an email to everybody saying, if you'd like to upgrade to version 4, I'd appreciate some money. So I paid to upgrade to version 4. And 3 weeks later, he brought out a newer software called Abbreviate and killed Breevy.
Wow.
And now I get nagware just popping up the whole time, telling me to update. For the past 2 years, it's been going on. And
that's not good.
I've been now using ChatGPT to try and narrow down to where he's hidden this or schedule this nagware to pop up. So I'm going through all the different files. I'm running process monitor to see where he's calling into, whatever he's calling into to try and track this down. So you bugger, I will get my software back to working the way it was. You nasty person.
Just write your own. Write your own version.
Well, this is, could do. Yeah. It was a really good software. Don't buy it. Don't buy anything from that guy. 16 software. There you go. You've heard it from me. Speaking about software, I've been using an app for well over 10 years called TV Time. It was an app that allowed you to basically record what TV shows, movie, anime, all that you've watched. You could rate them on there if you wanted, and there was a social scene, but I wasn't into that. All I wanted to do was keep a list of everything I've watched. Getting old, memory is crap. But then the guy running it it was free. The software, it was free. He never asked for money, and then he gave 2 weeks notice. Then we're closing it down. It was costing him too much money. It's not like, dude, if it was, at least ask people for money. Somebody would have given you money. I'd have given you a one-off payment anyway. But it's all gone. So because of GDPR, he allowed you to download your data. So maybe he's in Europe, I don't know. But so I downloaded my data, and I've been I have been trying out other software. So there's quite a range of them. But the biggest one is something called Simkl, SIMKL. And they used to allow you to import your data from TV Time. But because so many people have gone over, they're now charging to do that. But if you log into their website 20 days in 1 month, you can do it.
Right.
You can
Wow.
they'll update you to Pro for a month, and you can then do it for free. So I thought, yeah, I'll do that. And I had 20 days to do it, and I missed yesterday. So now I'll be able to do it this month. Fucker. But anyway, I'm not even sure I'll go with that website, with that app. But anyways, I'm trying to find. So if anybody knows a good TV, movie, and anime tracking app, please let me know. Yeah, okay. That's me. End of me giving out about software, I think. Let me see. School year has ended. Yay, exams are over. We're now into summer vacation. At the end of the school year, we have a massive cleanup. All the kids come in, and this is sort of, their schools are famous where the kids clean every week. They clean the school down, or some schools every day. They'll be scrubbing the floors. But at the end of term, there's a big, massive one. They'll be climbing on top of shelves and stuff and cleaning, dusting them all down. And then they have to wax all the floors. So it's a huge, big job because I'm all day. So did that, or we did. I got to stand there and watch them and motivate them. Yay, go. And then I went back into the teacher's room where it was nice and air-conned and left them in the heat. Because at the end of the term, we had what's called a nomikai, which is a drinking session. So all the teachers meet up, and this is the first one I've ever gone on. What they do is you pay 5,000 yen, which I think works out to be about £23. I can't remember, was it 40 Australian dollars or something?
Yeah, you usually just take 2 zeros off, so $50. Yeah. 50,
yeah. And you could drink as much as you want, and they supplied food. So you had a course meal. There was loads of sushi, sashimi sushi, steak, chips, deep fried chicken bits. And like when the deep fried chicken and the chips came down on the table, I said, look, it's gaijin food for me. And it never fucking came near me. With the NSFW, kids don't listen to this, but it never ended up on my end of the table. They ate all the foreign food, and so we had a pot where every 4 people had this pot in front of them where they cook or like stewed eel on top of. They have like a rice the sauce on like a sauce or broth, and then eel sitting on top, and they cook it, and you pour in the raw egg on top, and it cooks into it. I don't know. This eel was dreadful. I don't like eel in the first place, but this was just full of bones. I don't know.
So, with the eel, was it cooking in the pot already, or did you have to put the bits in? Is it shabu shabu where you put the bits of meat in?
No, not. Okay. Not like shabu shabu. It was already done.
Right.
So the only thing we added in was the raw egg, and it was all, so it just heated up and cooked away, and then we added raw egg to it, and it finished off. And raw egg is really big over here for people. It gives like some sort of slimy texture that the people here love. I don't know. Food over here, everybody raves about Japanese food is really great. They love meat that has loads of fat, which is like, you got your Wagyu beef or that type of stuff where the fat is not spread through it. And then if you do shabu shabu, which is where you cook your own food at the table, into a pot and you dip it in, it cooks away. The fat melts and you get this really nice meat. But if it's not Wagyu beef, then it's just beef with loads, or chicken or whether pork with loads of fat. So you think like, say like you don't call them rashers. We call them rashers in Ireland. We call them bacon in England. So like that, there's loads of streak fat through it, and to me, it's It's mainly fat. There's hardly any meat. So that's proper meat over here. Cheap meat is proper, what we would call proper meat back in Ireland, just like flesh rather than fat. So you can tell this restaurant wasn't giving the best quality because the steak was really good. It was pure meat. So they weren't happy, and I was like, "Yes, it's not to me, thank you." So I sat there and had loads of steak. It was good. It was quite good. And then they only had one beer, but they had loads of spirits. So like I had the beer, it was all right, wasn't great, and I had some ginger ale at first. So I wasn't really going to drink much, but everybody was laying into it. And then there was a lady in front of me. She wasn't drinking at all, and I saw her drinking blood orange juice, like the really red orange juice.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy beside me was drinking it. So I'll have some of that next time. So I told him, can you order the same thing? And he repeated back to me to make sure what I wanted. I said, yeah, I want the same as you have there. So I was halfway through that before I realized what he was drinking was a cocktail. It was laced. I was starting to feel dizzy sitting there. I was like, oh my God. And he leans over to me. He's like, I don't think I can get up to go to the toilet. I got fall and touch somebody. Oh my God. And he put down another 3 or 4 of them. I was like, oh my God. It was really tasty. It was really good. And I only had one more, but it was good. But the alcohol is free for 2 hours, as much as you can drink. And they made sure they used it all. So I had a good night. I had a little bit. I was a little bit drunk when I finished. Came out, and Japan's railway systems are a nightmare. Apart from the fact that one train station can be confusing enough. Like you have in London, you have, say, the Central Line, you have the Circle Line, you have all the different lines. There'll be one station.
Yep.
And in London, the trains are all run by one company. It's the London Underground, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
In Japan, you have lots of different train companies, and they don't talk to each other. So they put their stations beside each other, but they're not connected a lot of the time. Sometimes they are, but most of the time they're not connected. So you have to come out of one station, walk through the rain or the heat as it is now, heat humidity, and go to the next station. So I come out the pub, I'm standing around chatting to people, and I can see the stairs over the way. I can see the stairs in the train station, not realizing there's 2 train stations at this place. Because I looked on the map, and it looks like the one's on the other side of another building or something. It's miles away. The two are on a corner, like at the inside of an L, and there's stairs going one way and stairs going the other way. And I didn't realize there's different stations. So I go up and I check Google Maps, get on platform 2, go into platform 2, and I get on the train. And I just realized when I got to the next station, this is not the right track. And so I got off the train. I'm standing there like, I want to go back to where I started. I'm Googling how to get back and say, it's going to take you 30 minutes to get back. And I didn't sleep on the train. I was only on the train for 5 minutes. How the fuck? It took me ages to realize I was on the wrong train line, the wrong train company. So I eventually got back and made it home. When I started that, when I was getting this, like, it's going to take you 30 minutes, I panicked and started ringing my wife, who did not answer the phone. Couldn't be bothered. This is just... Anyway, got home, eventually got home, went back to school, because despite the fact it being the school holidays, I still have to go to school. We have a speech contest in September, early September, so the kids have to practice throughout the summer, and I've been asked to go into practice, to help them practice. In my previous 3 years, I've not been asked to go in. This year, they've asked me to go in 4 days a week. It's an hour journey each way, and I'm going in for half an hour or an hour each day. So I'm getting lots of time to listen to podcasts on my way in and out. It's fun. I meet loads of the kids, and I get in there. I was talking to the volleyball guys the other day, and they're going into school 5 days a week during their school holidays practice. And the football team are doing the same. The baseball team, they're all going into practice every single day. It's crazy. They're going for 3 hours. I was talking to some of the brass bands. They were there. Yeah, they were there from 9 o'clock in the morning till 12, just practicing, because they've got a show in October or something. So I don't know. Summer holidays for me, but school was closed. You didn't go near the school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was the only people that went to school were the people that needed to catch up. So
yeah,
it's weird. The kids are that dedicated that they're still turning up and doing that over their holidays.
if you're here during the summer, you'll see loads of kids in their school uniforms, because or their sports gear. If you do anything to do with the school, you have to wear the school gear. So you wear the school PE gear, the school team gear, or the school uniform. So you'll see loads of them around. It's quite crazy. But the teachers are in there. All the teachers are there. They're doing meetings with parents. So I saw one teacher scheduled, like she has 3 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. So she has to be there the whole day waiting to have a chat with these. She'll chat with the kids and their parents. So they take half an hour each one. So they're busy all summer long as well. So it's quite weird, quite different to how it is for us.
Yeah.
Let me see what else I put in. Speech competition, summer vacation. I did a summer camp. I have another one this Thursday coming. So today is Sunday. So we do these speech competitions. Oh my God, I'm so hot. I'm humid here. We're doing summer camp. That's not that. Summer camp. It's basically we play games with the kids. We did 5th and 6th graders in elementary school last week. We're doing 3rd and 4th next week. And the best thing for me was the kids that were in the school that I was in last year came along. And usually they only have 2 or 3 kids in total come. But this year we're going to have over 11. A lot of them wanted to see me again. So, because I didn't get to say goodbye to them this year. And it's brilliant. It was really good crack the entire day. We're just playing games. All it is, we have 8 people like me, 8 ALTs. We have 4 games and they move around between the games playing. And it's all in English. So they have to chat in English and talk. And it's just good crack. So I get paid to play games with kids.
Good.
Cool. And I've got another one then with 3rd and 4th graders next Friday. So more games, except younger kids tend to be more energetic. So the games are more about running, and the game we're doing is that you've got run, jump, hop, and baby steps, big steps. And I'm going to be drenched in sweat by the end of the day. But, we have a gym in this council building, and when we were doing it last week, there's 2 air cons on either side of the gym that we have, the big room we have, and they're all in Japanese. So we're there with our phones trying to translate them, turn on, and we got the temperature down to 20 on one. The other one's chucking heat in. It took an hour, 2 hours before we realized it was heating the area, and then to get somebody from the office downstairs to come in and turn the aircon. So we'll try and get it sorted next time. Let me see. And then the last thing for me was yesterday. We have a time of the year, it's called Hanabi. Hana is the Japanese for flower, and B means fire. So it's flowers, fire flowers or whatever. So it's basically fireworks in Japanese. And we went to the oldest festival yesterday. It was on the Sumida River. I did it last year and the year before. It is quite cool. We were on a boat. We were stuck in between 2 bridges, and each bridge has the fireworks being set off. The boat peels back the roof, and you can stand on the chair and peep out. So there's like all these people look like gophers sticking their heads out of the top of the building, atop the boat, peeping out, watching the fireworks going. And we thought it was great. You'd be in the middle, but what it is like you're looking one way, and then the fireworks go behind you. You turn around and start looking that way, and then they go behind you. You're just the whole time twisting your head around watching them. But it's amazing. It goes on for an hour and a half. You can come along and just stand on some of the bridges to watch the fireworks, or stand along the sides. People pull their chairs out, just sit outside in the road watching them. It is free to watch. You can pay like we did to go on the boat, whatever, or some restaurants. Like we did 3 or 4 years ago, their restaurant, their car park has a great view of the river, of the sky above the river. So they just put chairs out as well after meals, and people pay to sit there for them. But it is really, really good. It goes on for 7 to half 8, maybe not, just a little bit after that. But it's really good, really impressive fireworks. You can get them. I didn't know you could do shapes. I remember they did hearts last year, but they had Pikachu. So
wow.
The fireworks spread out into shape of Pikachu. That's just really cool. But yeah, so
nice.
That's it. I mentioned the heat. I know you said Europe is hot at 40, but we're hitting 37, 30,
yeah, wow.
37, 38 every day where I am. I know parts of Japan have hit over 40. I think one area is been over 40 for the past 5 days. But the humidity is getting to, I don't know, 70s and 80% at the moment. And it's just, everything is hot and sticky. You can't sweat properly because the sweat doesn't evaporate off you because the air is so humid. And it just, disgusting. Summer. I can't wait for winter. I really can't.
Well, we had snow down to 300 meters yesterday, so
yeah,
it's a wee bit chilly here. Yes,
I see you wearing the sweat top. I was like, oh my god!
This is my summer sweat top, my summer hoodie, because the big thick ones. It's not quite cold enough down in the house for that.
Yeah,
but outside it's getting down to maybe 4 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Celsius. And then, as I say, the mountain that I can see from the end of the driveway was all coated in snow 2 days ago.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Jealous. I'm very, very jealous. I don't like the summer here. Yeah.
I don't like summer myself. I prefer the cold.
Because you can't sweat. So Japanese people hate to see stain marks on people. So, like your back gets all drenched in sweat and your t-shirt looks wet, whatever. And Japanese people they find that disgusting. So what they all do is they bring clothes with them, and they have like a face cloth. So they'll have that in their pockets. They're wiping their arm or hands off. A lot of them will have a towel wrapped around their neck. So if you ever see the stereotypical image of a ramen chef, he'll have a towel wrapped around his neck and shoved into the front of his shirt. But you have loads of people going around and they're wiping their face, wiping sweat off the whole time. Or you have wipes. You can get in packs of them there with menthol, and you can clear off any sweat and they help cool you down. We come up with a really good idea. We can get these body wipes that you get, and they come individually wrapped. So we chuck them in the fridge. So if we've been out for a while and we come in, you just grab one of these. So cold, and you can wipe all the sweat off. It's brilliant. Really, really good.
Have you seen this? There's a new Sony device that's come out. I saw it advertised in the Sony shop in Singapore. That fits in the back of your neck, under your shirt. Have you seen those?
Yeah, no, I saw it advertised. I haven't actually seen it yet.
I think it ended up being about $200 Australian, and I was seriously considering buying one.
Ooh,
and it's like a little metal plate that sits in the back of your neck, and you control it via your phone, and you say how cold or how hot you want to be, and then it uses like Peltier evaporation or heating to just get you to the right temperature. Looks phenomenal, and the reviews say it's very, very effective. But by the time I decided I was going to buy it, we were already on the plane leaving Singapore on the way to Europe. And when I got there, I was sadly disappointed that I hadn't picked one up, because I could have really used it there. Yeah.
The only thing about the Sony, I was worried because there's like two arms that come over your shoulders.
Yep.
I was wondering how comfortable they would be, but it does look like.
They seem like they're quite bendy little things, and you just bend it to suit your body shape. And they sit under your shirt collar, as I say, so they wouldn't be visible outside. Yeah.
No, that looks good. Looks good. Better than the coats over here with the fans built in, because they're just blowing hot air in on top of you. It doesn't really help much at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's as you said, you mentioned you have the personal fans. They don't.
Yeah, I picked up one
over here.
Yeah.
It's just chucking hot air at you. But
this one's got a little cooling device on it as well, so it does a little bit of evaporation. And you can actually see that the metal plate in the middle of the fan starts to form like condensation on it very, very quickly. So it's definitely lowering the temperature a wee bit.
Yeah.
But as to whether that's 1 degree or 5 degrees cooler by the time it hits you, I don't know. I don't think it would be making any sizable difference to what it's doing for you.
I got off the train. Our local train, this doesn't happen on, unfortunately, but I got off the train the other day. The train was so cold, and I got off. My glasses all fogged up. It's like being in Dubai when you walk out of the hotels outside, and your glasses just fog up. It's crazy.
Yep.
Okay, we should move on. We're going to be here all day.
Yeah.
Apologies to the listeners. You mentioned you've got lots of things that you watched. Do you want to go first then?
Yeah, so obviously it's been 2 months since I was last on. In that period of time, I was on the plane for a long, long time getting to Europe, and then on the plane a long time on the way back. While I was on the plane, though, I watched an awful lot. First one is a movie called Begonia. Have you watched that one, Brian?
No, I've never even heard of this.
So it was on Netflix. No, it's spelled slightly different, and it's about these two guys. It's a remake of a South Korean film called Save the Green Planet. And it's about these
Okay.
two young men who are convinced that the Earth has been taken over by these aliens who are bugs. And they're convinced that
Okay.
one of the aliens is this CEO, a young woman who's a CEO of a company. So they kidnap her and they try and get her to admit that she's an alien. And this movie really
Seems-
it upset me quite a bit because there's very uncomfortable scenes. The storyline deals with mental health issues. It deals with graphic violence against women. There was a
Yeah.
lot in it that I just really did not like. But I mean, if you like black comedies and thrillers, then this is definitely in that genre. It wasn't a movie that I would have sat down and watched if I'd known how it was going to turn out.
Yeah.
The second movie I watched, unfortunately, was F1 the movie. So
I was thinking about this.
it's got Brad Pitt in it. He's like this aging racer who's done every single race there is going on the world. He's away from Formula One racing for 30 years, and he comes back to take on all the big names, including Hamilton and all the names that are in the Formula One circuit at the moment. It would have been a good movie, but the commentators really do dumb everything down to that stupidest level. They explain every move that's made. The story itself. He's doing all these tricks trying to win the race in a car that's not as fast as everybody else, and he manages to do it somehow. So the story itself, I really didn't enjoy. The commentators who are commentating over the top of it really ruined it for me. And given
Yeah.
that it was directed by Lewis Hamilton himself, I would have expected a wee bit better.
It was.
Yeah,
Wow.
he should know. He should know how Formula One works for a start.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It does.
then I moved on to Project Hail Mary. It was the big movie of the year earlier on in the year. I loved how this one worked. The story is written by Andy Weir, who wrote the Martian.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of
it.
detail and a lot of hard science behind how the story works. I loved how there's this continual sort of flashbacks that fleshes out everyone's backstories. Because effectively, there's only two characters in the movie. There's is it Ryan Reynolds? Not Ryan Reynolds, the other guy. Anyway, there's the main guy, and then there's a character that gets introduced later on. But there's all the other guys that were on the crew who are no longer there when he wakes up from hypersleep. But they flesh out the whole backstory of everybody, and I loved that. I thought it was hardcore sci-fi and a very enjoyable watch. The next one I watched on the plane was one called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. This one was mental. It stars Sam Rockwell, who I always confuse for Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul. They got a very similar look and a very similar style of how they present their characters. It follows a man who says he's from the future and he's here he arrives in this diner in the middle of America, and he has to recruit patrons to try and save the world from a rogue AI. And he keeps looping around over and over, trying to get different combinations of these characters that are in the diner to get the outcome he needs. It talks about AI. It talks about how it's turning us all into mindless zombies. It even manages to throw in comments around American high school shootings and cloning. It's just a very mental movie. The teenagers who are turned into mindless zombies by their mobile phones are actually portrayed as mindless zombies, and they're running through the streets, sort of arms out type style. a good watch if you get a chance.
I've just taken note of that.
Yeah. The next one I watched this in the last 2 months is a fairly old one, and it's as a result of Sam Neill passing away. All of his back catalogue is being broadcast on our free-to-air channels. So we have a broadcaster here called SBS, who are like they're sort of free-to-air, and they're not the mainstream commercial channels, and they tend to show a little bit of arty movies and that sort of stuff. And they had a movie from 2016 on called Hunt for the Wilder People. which is Sam Neill and Julian Dennison, who you may know as the kid Fire Fist from Deadpool 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Julian Dennison plays this character who's a kid he's problematic. He's been from foster family to foster family. He's always getting into trouble. He's, never fitting in anywhere. And he gets taken to a couple, Sam Neill and his partner. And then his partner dies. And so the two of them are left together. And they decide they're going to go off into the wild. I never understood what the name of this movie was about, because I didn't understand what wilder people meant. And it turns out that the kid mentions that wildebeest will run so many 100 kilometers in a hunt for the perfect life. And so they're running away trying to find this perfect life, and they're all being hunted by New Zealand social services. And so they call themselves the wilder people, the two of them, and this is the hunt for them. And so I was like, oh, okay, right, that makes sense. It was a good family movie again. It was a very, very sweet story. Probably not Sam Neill's best work, but enjoyable nonetheless. We're getting to the end, honestly. So my son convinced me to go and watch The Odyssey. It's on at the cinemas here. And he bought us tickets to go and watch something called Gold Class. I don't know if you have Gold Class there. But Gold Class cinemas, effectively you get a big reclining electric chair, more space than you get in a normal cinema. They'll bring you a beer and a hot meal halfway through the movie if you want it.
Oh, nice.
So it's a fancy way to go and watch a movie. Wasted on me because I just had my little bowl of popcorn and my Diet Coke, and that was me. I don't understand how people can order nachos or a hamburger in the dark and then eat it and not have it all over down the front of them.
Yes.
By the time the lights come on. But yeah, The Odyssey. So Odysseus, king of the Ithaca, embarks on his journey to return home after the Trojan War. This is the first time I've been to the movies in about 2 years. And I forgot how loud things are. That movie was really loud. Maybe this is just another reflection on me being an old man now. But the audio was so painfully loud in parts. But a fantastic movie. It's made by, what's his name, the guy that did The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan, who also did Tenet and various other movies. This is his next big movie that he's coming out with. And it is a big movie. I mean, it's massive. It's got just about anyone who's anyone in Hollywood right now in it. There was just star after star after star on the screen. So yeah, very enjoyable.
Did you watch that on a IMAX or regular screen?
No, it wasn't an IMAX cinema. It was a regular screen in IMAX dimensions. So there's apparently, if they show it to you in the normal cinema, the top and the bottom of some of the scenes gets chopped off. So we could see those, which means it must have been the IMAX film, but just not on something that's the size of a building type thing, the way that the IMAX screens are. And then on the series front, so I finished watching Spider Noir, which we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of episodes ago. I really enjoyed that. Finished up the entire season. It's only the one season. Liked how that worked. I moved on to Clarkson's Farm, season 5. Love him or hate him, Jeremy Clarkson, he certainly is able to produce a good series. In this season, he's tackling his own mortality and storms and battles of bureaucracy and just the general chaos of life that his farm seems to involve. It's always interesting watching him handling the farming aspect of things rather than just try to be funny for the camera. Because you realize that, well, certainly it appears as if he really does care about his animals. Anytime he has to send animals off for slaughter, it almost destroys him. He's an absolute mess on the filming. He also does some cool things where he goes to the Netherlands and he tries to take inspiration from how they're doing farming over there by using things like driverless tractors and drones and all this sort of stuff. And he brings that back to his English farm and turns it on its head. So that's interesting, watching them using that technology to make the farm more profitable and to produce more with less. And I think that's got to be the secret to any farmer surviving in this day and age, is being able to do more with less, and the drones and the driverless technology certainly allows them to do that. I mentioned SPS earlier on. I watched a series called Les Sentinelles, which is it's set in 1915, and there's a French soldier who's seriously wounded on the front lines, and he's convinced to join a top secret army research project, the Sentinels program, where they inject them with a serum that creates them a kind of super soldier. And imagine a French version of Captain America combined with 1917, the movie, combined with Star Wars Jedi mind powers, force sensing, and a faceless super baddie. And you got a fair idea of what's going on here. In parts, the way it's presented, and again, this might just because it's French background, but it reminded me of Clair Obscur in some of the settings. There's the standard set of characters or odd characters that seem to get involved in anything with a French background that I've looked at recently. There's a small person, there's a giant, there's a debonair leader, and there's a woman that has got these weird powers that can force others to do her bidding. I mean, that's Clair Obscur, isn't it?
You just need a mime to appear.
Yep. So it was a fairly short series. Again, there's only the one season of it. Very enjoyable. It wasn't really focusing on the superpowers or the Marvel style thing, but it was interesting. And then the last series I've watched this month or these last 2 months is Silo on Apple TV. I seem to have watched like 1 or 2 episodes of this in the past, and given that I loved the books, there was a series of 3 books, Wool, Shift, and Dust. I don't know why I didn't carry on watching it, but I've since picked it up again, and I'm about halfway through season 1 now, and I think season 4 has just come out now.
Season 3, I think.
Season 3's come out. Season 4 has been signed up to be produced.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'll be continuing to watch that over the next couple of months and catch up before season 4 comes out. Yeah, so that's been me. What about yourself, Brian?
Well, you mentioned Silo. I've started that again. I'm on season 3. For people who don't know, that's men and women live in a big giant silo, hence the name. The silo is underground, and because of regulations, they can't leave the silo, and everything all their food, all their energy, is all made or done inside the silo, and it's quite good. I liked season 1 and 2 because of those. I read, I think, the first 2 books. I don't think I've read the 3rd book yet, but yeah, I like it. Season 3 has started. I've watched the first 3 episodes, and it's slow. God, it's slow. I just wanted to get past. They've got, I don't know. She can't remember what's happened. The main actress can't remember what happened because of what happens at the end of season 2, and it's just like, oh my God, please get your memory back quick. This story is taking ages to get going. So yeah, so it is a good show if you're into your sci-fi.
Yep.
See, I watched a Japanese movie called Perfect Days. A guy called Hirayama cleans public toilets in Tokyo. Basically lives his life simply and in daily tranquility. This is from IMDb. Some encounters also lead him to reflect on himself. This is a movie where nothing happens. The entire time, basically nothing happens. There's a brief glimmer of something happening, and then that's quashed. But it's really good. I liked it a lot. I don't know. It's been raved about. Japanese people seem to like it as well. It was made here by, I think it was a Dutch director. He came over just after COVID and made the movie. It's all set about these toilets he's cleaning because Tokyo brought out these new fancy public toilets. Like some of them have glass sides, so you can see into the toilets. But when you go in, you turn the button and the glass becomes opaque. So they're really weird toilets. And so he's cleaning these toilets, and he gets in and he cleans them thoroughly. It's like scrubbing underneath, and it's quite long, and not much happens. The music is excellent, and his acting is great. The only thing I didn't like in the movie was the very last 2 minutes. So if you watch the movie, that's the very end of it. It was annoying for me, but the movie is really good. I liked it. It may not be everybody's cup of tea, to be honest, though.
when you said you got glass toilets, I didn't think you meant the glass panels. I thought you meant the toilet itself. And I thought, why the hell would anybody have that?
Yes. Well, yeah, that's true. Sorry, yeah, the walls are glass. Now, the next movie I watched was something called Extraordinary. It's an Irish horror movie. Go watch this, people. It's really good. If you're Irish and you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. It really depicts Ireland a few years back, as like in the 90s or early 2000s. Rose is from IMDb. Rose is a mostly sweet and lonely Irish driving instructor, and she must use her supernatural talents to save the daughter of Martin, who's mostly sweet and lonely, from a washed-up rock star who is using Martin's daughter in a satanic pact to reignite his fame. It is really funny. It's really good. The acting is atrociously bad. I think deliberately so. I hope deliberately so. It is really good. It's very funny. Even thinking of scenes is just cracking me up. It is really good. So go watch Extraordinary. Two separate words. Then I watched the final season of Deadlock, Australian show. Last year it was in your part of the world, wasn't it?
It was. It was literally in my suburb.
Yeah. So it was last year was really good. This year I thought they moved to, I think it's Darwin.
Yeah.
Which seems like it's hot and humid as well. So I'm never going to visit. But they're investigating murder and rising body count. Dulcie and Eddie, who is fabulous. She is amazing. She is an excellent actress. She's so disgusting. They join forces to a ragtag team of misfits to bring a killer to justice. And oh man, it is so funny. If you're not into lesbians, do not watch this show because it's so fucking gay, but it's absolutely hilarious. Two of them are brilliant. Not two, the whole team, they're brilliant. And then when I won't say it because I don't want to spoil it, but when somebody from season 1 appears in season 2, I fell in love with the show again. She's amazing. She's really good. It's really good, really funny. The creativity in the language is just outrageous.
Yeah.
They're making up bad language. It's just people's descriptions or Eddie's descriptions of people are just absolutely, it's so good. It's so good. Then going from something really good to something really, really, really not. I watched The Punisher, One Last Kill, Marvel's one last episode to try and squeeze as much money out as possible out of a franchise. It is dreadful. It is crap. Do not avoid it.
Right.
If you've watched, I'm not into superhero movies at all. I'm not into Marvel. I like Spider-Man, and I think that's about it. That's about all the superheroes that I like, except for that one you mentioned, the Batman earlier.
Yep.
That was really good. But other than that, I don't like any of the superheroes. Hate Superman, all that. But I did watch all of The Punisher, and he's not a superhero, so it's tolerable. I can watch it. But this one was just pure trash. It's like an overlong episode, and that's basically what it is. It's a special episode. It's crap. It's really dreadful. Then I started watching 2 shows. Tabula Rasa. If you're into Returnal, it's about the closest to it as a TV show. I think it's from Flanders. I think it's Flanders or someplace like that. Holland, Belgium, something like that. That area. So Mie is a woman with amnesia. She's been sectioned and she can remember everything up to a certain incident. And then after that, her memories each day, or her memories disappear. If she gets a fright, she forgets whatever's happened. And there's been a detective inspector comes in to visit her because she was the last person who saw a vanished person. But if she gets a fright, she can't even remember the inspector coming in. So it's just her dealing with this and flashbacks to before she was sectioned, but when she still had the amnesia. So it's actually slightly creepy and odd, but it's quite good. I've watched I think it's only one season. I've watched the first 2 or 3 episodes and it's quite good. I've liked it.
Okay.
Then the other one I'm watching currently is Widow's Bay. Have you watched this?
No.
This is from IMDb again. A skeptical mayor leads the leads the superstitious residents of a cursed New England island. So if you think of the mayor of the place in Jaws, that town, and he's trying to get people to come to his town, everybody's saying, no, there's sharks. This is basically the same type of thing, except people are saying, no, there's ghosts here. Or here be ghosts, here be monsters. It's slightly spooky. There are a couple of jump frights? I can't even.
Jump scares, yeah. Jump scares.
Thank you. And
all good.
my head is going. But jump scares. There's a few jump scares, but it is just funny. It's really, really funny. It's a black humor. He is the unluckiest mayor. Every ghost that they have in the village or the town keeps visiting him, and it's really good. Quite funny. Every episode's with a different ghost or different situation, but it's quite good. I would recommend watching Widow's Bay. And then the last thing I was I was listening to a podcast called What Went Wrong. It's a movie podcast. They go through what went wrong with movies. So they've got loads in the backlog. So I just kind of dip into the movies I know or the movies I like. And I listened to an episode about The War of the Worlds. You know, the one with Tom Cruise.
Yep.
So they go through what didn't go well with the movie. And then one of the biggest problems with that movie was the publicity run. Is when they were doing it, nobody asked about the movie. They were all asking about the Scientology tent that Tom Cruise set up in the movie for anybody who wanted to join a cult, basically, you know. And he got annoyed. In interviews, he gets annoyed. He said, like, I put in a coffee tent for anybody who wanted coffee. I put in another tent for anybody who wanted something else. And I put in Scientology one if anybody needed a break and wanted to lose all their money. You know, but What Went Wrong is really good. It goes through it all, the movie, and the failures and stuff. But the fact also that there was 2 other movies based on War of the Worlds released at the exact same time, because there were other companies who specialize in releasing movies at the same time to try and get on DVD sales and stuff or whatever. It's really, really weird. But during the show, they mentioned that a documentary. I don't like documentaries. I really tend not to watch them. But this one's called Going Clear: Scientology and the Prison of Belief. That's free on YouTube, and it's really worth a watch. I don't even remember how long it was, but it starts off really boring. And I was getting really fed up. I was thinking I could leave it, but it starts to get really crazy, and then it just continues to get crazy. So go watch it. That's Going Clear. It's free on YouTube. Yeah, it's really good. Really interesting to see how they got classed as a religion for tax reasons, because they basically bullied the IRS, threatened to sue them, have all their members sue the IRS for problems. So it's quite good. But yeah, go watch that. And that, I think, is the last of what I watched.
Cool. I heard about one this morning that I haven't had a chance to watch yet, but it sounds very interesting as well. A documentary called Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat.
Oh?
And what it is, it's all about how the CIA and the US State Department used famous jazz musicians like Louis Armstrong to go in and do shows in the Congo. And then while they were there, they would go in as like, you know, the supporting staff, and then they would do all their mission. And I want to watch that if I can find it anywhere. That looks like it could be quite interesting. I
remember there was rumours going around about, is it Winds of Change? Wind of Change from the Scorpions? That helped. The rumors that helped bring down the Berlin Wall, and so because they were doing a tour in Russia at the time, they said it was written by the CIA, which is, I don't know, probably.
I'll tell you once I watched
bullshit, it. But yeah, watch that for me. That'd be cool. And I think people probably have enough of me speaking, so I'll pass it back to you for what you've played.
What I've played. Well, I'll start by saying that the majority of what I played is going to be on mobile devices, because I was obviously away for the whole of that first month, last month. So I started off by playing Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, which is a Game Boy Advance game. It came out in 2001. It's not like a normal Baldur's Gate game. It's more of an action role-playing game. It's fantastic. It's aged really well. You know, the graphics still hold up. The difficulty curve with the boss battles was certainly a lot harder than the normal sort of traveling through the levels sections. So it does this weird thing where you feel like you're way overpowered, and then you hit a boss and you just get smashed. And you got to figure out a way of actually Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was frustrating as all hell because the save points are also miles and miles apart. So by the time you die, you got to go all the way back to a save point that's, possibly an hour in the past, and then just keep working your way forward again until you get to the point where the boss is, and then try and figure out how to approach them and take them down. And in most cases, what that means is running around the space that you're shut into with the boss, and keeping out of his reach until you can run in and do a quick bash and then run away again while your health regenerates. So the boss battles themselves were not that much fun to play, but the game itself was good. Given that it was a mobile device and given that it's nearly 25 years old now.
Oh wow!
It certainly has aged okay. I completed it, rolled credits, completed the game. There's no achievements or anything on it because it was a GBA game. So once I'd finished it, that was it. It gets put to one side and will probably never get looked at again. Wreckfest and Battlefield 6, I managed to get one Thursday in, and that Thursday was last Thursday. We started off on Battlefield 6, and it's total chaos. None of us know how the menu systems work. None of us know how the multiplayer game works to get us all in the same game instance. At least an hour out of the game session is just trying to corral the herd of cats that we are, all going off in our own directions, trying to figure out what buttons to push. My kill death ratio is about 1,000 deaths to 1 kill. And really the only kills that I get are when I manage to get into a tank or a vehicle that somebody else is driving, and I'm on the machine gun and I can just spray bullets everywhere and hope that some of them land on an enemy that happens to walk in front of it. So still don't know what I'm doing in it, but most of our group is the same. So it's fun to be trying to work it out together.
That's good.
Then we switched over to Wreckfest, and that's always loads of fun. Every week that we play that, that's so much fun. We know what we're doing on that. We know how to get into a party with that, and then we can all just drive our cars at each other and see who comes out finally at the end and wins the race.
Are you playing all these on PlayStation or a PC?
These are all on PS5. Yeah.
PS5, yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned on my little voice clip that I sent in to you guys on the last episode that I'd been playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And I completed that before I went on my holiday. When I got back, I fired it up again, and I've now got the hidden ending, which requires that you do a whole bunch of extra bits. And I've completed about 92% of the challenges or the trophies. So not platinumed yet, but not far off. It did annoy me, that game, with the map system, because it was very clunky and it just didn't work well. But once you level yourself up to the point where you've maxed everything out, you end up being this thing that's able to kill everything that gets thrown at you, and working out where you are on the map becomes less of an importance thing. You can just do front-on combat and just take out every single baddie that they throw. At one point, I was standing in the main building I'm trying to think where it was now, somewhere in Rome or something like that, and all these fascists were coming up the stairs, and as soon as 2 of them came up, I'd take them out, and then another 2 would come up and take them out, and the stairs were just covered in bodies. They were like 4 deep at one point. It was just this complete, destruction of everything that threw at me there. So, and I was just taking them out with a baseball bat. I didn't even have a gun. So you need to depend less on stealth, and you can just go and power your way through the game and finish off what you need to finish off. So that was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. On my Anbanic, I also fired up a PSP game called Loco Roco. The traditional PSP game where it used I think it was a 6-axis controller method to tilt the world rather than controlling the player.
Yeah.
It came out in 2006. It was really different for its time. It worked really well on the Anbanic, so I managed to 100% that. I managed to complete it. I didn't 100% it because you got to collect all these little characters and things as you go through each level. So roll the credits, but there's still more to do there if I want to go back and do that. I probably won't though, because some of the little add-ons that you need to collect are far too difficult to get. I mentioned that the patch was released for Anun, which allowed me to 100% complete that. So that's gone on the list of completed games. I then started up one called Sunless Sea on Epic. So this was once we got back home. It was a game that came out in 2015, and it's a top-down game where you're controlling a boat. It's a survival exploration role-playing video game with roguelike elements, so you can store or retain certain things every time you die, but you get to choose which of those things it is you're saving, whether it's half your food or half your fuel or half your experience, etc. You're basically driving around this map and exposing all the various bits of the map as you go. There's a story mode where you have to take things from one harbour to another, and you earn coins and experience by doing that. But while you're at sea, you get attacked by various things like giant crabs or sentient icebergs or pirates. I didn't like the game. I found it very difficult to navigate, very slow. My resource levels were always running out of either food or fuel, despite me doing everything it asked me to do. So it frustrated me quite a lot, and I've given up on that one now for the time being. I might go back to it if I run out of things to play next month. But for the time being, Sun the Sea and I did not get on well. And that was pretty much it. The only other things I was playing was on my Android tablet. I started up one called 1945 Air Force, but it was just microtransactional hell. It didn't matter what you did. It was just throwing things down your throat saying, hey, pay us money to do this. And I was like, nah, not doing that. And that's me.
Okay. I started up, I've got the order here is Returnal. I started playing Returnal recently. The RNG in this game is killing me. I had decided I wouldn't go to the true ending until I got all the trophies leading up to it and then finish off. But every time I play it, I'm only getting 1 or 2 glyphs, and I need to get, I think, about 10 glyphs. These are shiny things on the wall. I need to get 10 of them so I can finish off the game. And it's taking too long. I could spend one day and only get 1 glyph. It's because you're just waiting for a room to randomly appear on the map. And the game is split in 2. You've got 6 biomes. The game is split into 2. So the first 3 biomes and the second 3 biomes. And the glyphs I want are in the end biome. So it's just taking too long to get there to find out the map. Map isn't good, and then having to just kill and start again. I'm just getting really annoyed with it. So I did the final ending playthrough, got the final ending, and I will go back to it again, I suppose, at some point to try and catch the platinum, but it's just too random, annoying the crap out of me. I mentioned to you guys before that I think I'm getting old. I think it was the day after I came home from the camp. I was shattered. I sat down. I started trying to play a game, put on Death Stranding, fell asleep. Because it's just, Death Stranding is where I was there, or where I am, because I haven't gone back to it since, is just inventory management, trying to sort out. I had to move 6 of something to someplace else on the same base. But it was taking me fucking forever just to move these things. And I was like, oh my God. And I put them in, I'd empty everything out of the lorry I've stolen, and put them in, and then I could only put 3 in and move. And then I was trying to figure out how I could give all 6 of these things, and it was just taking too long. So I fell asleep playing the game and woke up hours later. So I haven't gone back to it. I decided to load up, Watchdog Legions?
Oh, yeah.
I have it on my backlog. I hadn't really thought about playing it this year, but for some reason I wanted some shooty that was pointless and didn't feature RNG. So I loaded that up or tried to, and it wanted a massive update. I fell asleep during the update. I missed playing games that whole day. So let me see, the next day I went back to Blueprints. Speaking about RNG, I reached breaking point on this game. You only have to get through in 46, and there's so much afterwards as well. But I sent a message to Rich. I showed him there's 45 rooms, and then you can get to the 46th if you've managed to open one of the rooms, many of the doors in one of the rooms. And I had 40 of the rooms open. I had this door that has the magic door, has awkward locks to unlock. I had that open, but I couldn't get to it. I was totally blocked off, and I was so angry. So I messaged Rich saying, this game, what have you done to me? Because he kept telling me, stay with it, you get hooked. And I got bloody hooked. And I kept getting blocked. And I just, when I go back and play again, instead of going 9 rows up, I was getting 1 row or 2 rows, and I couldn't get any further. I was blocked again. I was like, oh my God. But eventually, I made it. I got through room 46. I got through all credits. Yay.
Nice.
And what's really annoying is I know the solutions to so many other puzzles in the game, but unless the random generation of rooms is given to me that where I have the rooms beside each other or linked in some way, I can't complete those puzzles because it's just random. And I was like, oh my God, it's just, even though I've completed most of the game, I've completed a part of the game. Because when you go looking at the achievements, all the achievements start after that point, after you got to room 46. And nobody's got, when I look down the list of people I was down as friends, very few of them have actually got any achievements in this game, even though they've finished it. So I was like, no, I'll go back to you maybe next year. But it's the puzzles are amazing. There are so many. Every room virtually has one puzzle, if not two. And sometimes it's got to do with something that's in the room or something that's outside the room. And it's really good. It's so weird. It's so good. Excellent game. And a game would have been off much earlier if it hadn't been for Rich. But it's frustrating to be left with knowing more puzzles and knowing there's so much left in the game. But it's just pure randomness. And I don't know. I know if you get back to room 46, there's even more there in that room. You don't really go into it, you just hit credits. But actually, if you get there, you can see more. But I don't think I've got the will left in me to go try and do it again. Hopefully at some point I will.
Yeah.
Then
I must admit that Returnal thing. So one of the things that I did notice on my last playthrough of Returnal was how you open up those rooms that have got the bars in front of them. I didn't think to look up and see the little glowing thing on the wall that you can shoot. So that took me a long time to work that out.
If you hold the left trigger as though you're going to aim, just half pull it in, you'll hear a beep, beep, beep. And that's the thing that you could aim at, flashing at you. So you can look around looking for it. Some of them are some of them are well hidden, to be honest. Yeah. But most of them are obvious. So when you do that, you'll start to hear it and you can just run around looking for it. They're nearby, but sometimes they're hidden down low or up high or behind the statue or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the advice for anybody doing try not to go near them until you've hit weapon efficiency 5 or 4 or 5, because every time you open a chest, the weapon you receive will be set at the weapon efficiency you're at. So if you hold off for 4 or 5, you get stronger weapons. So try and do the game, the first biome, most of it, with just a handgun that you're given. Yeah. If you can. Let me see. Then after that, I finally got into Watchdog Legions. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize Andy Zaltzman is in it. Do you know Andy Zaltzman?
Oh, yeah, the comedian, yeah.
The comedian, yeah. He's
with the mental hair, yeah.
He still does. Yeah, it does the Bugle.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in a podcast called The Bug in Ireland. For those of you who don't, he's a podcaster, we just mentioned all that. He's on the News Quiz, which show I love on Radio 4 as well. His section, he goes on about this. Imagine you have a big dog that keeps biting you. And he's talking about the government, and all you can think of is you want puppies. Now let's call that dog Nigel. And I thought he's talking about Farage. And I started pissing myself laughing. And then it was like later in the day, or even the next day I was playing it, it turns out the CEO, the baddie CEO, is actually called Nigel something or other. Is this because this game is quite old? A few years back, is he actually talking about Farage? But maybe not. Still, it felt funny at the time. The gameplay is pretty much the same as before. The big problem is you keep changing characters, or you can keep changing characters. You don't get to like any of them. I loved Watch Dogs 2. I liked the character in that. I think his name is Marcus. Thought it was really good. I liked that game. This one you don't get to don't get to care about the characters really, to be honest.
Is this the one where characters have got different capabilities though? So some of them can use electronics and some of them can do something else, and you have to keep looking for somebody that can do what you need to do for the mission. That's it.
Okay. They have different specialities. Some of them are just like one guy is a builder outfit, so he can walk around building sites, which is one thing you've got to do earlier in the game. So if you've got him, it makes it easier to get around the building site to check out some big explosion. One of the things I used to love about London is if you go to a cafe, you have all these different accents. So when I go to a cafe here, everything's Japanese. Occasionally you might hear a bit of English being spoken someplace. But in London, you have all the accents from all around England, Wales, Scotland added in on top of that. Then you have Irish accents. Then you have West Indian, African, European accents, all in one cafe. And I love that, hearing that mix.
Yep.
And playing this game brings it all back. It's brilliant. It's the single best thing in this whole game is you walk around the street and you can hear loads of different accents being talked to you. So I wonder if they've actually got, if I take these characters and get them to join, will I have somebody doing a full script in that accent? That's just, it'd be really cool. Start bringing people from all over England into it, or all over Europe and the world into your game. It'd be really good. But I've really liked that. The graphics are pretty good. London's just well done. I haven't tried to see how far out you can go. I'm fairly sure Stratford, where I used to live, isn't that far. It doesn't go that far out there. But the game is pretty good. You have a big AI helping you, and the AI seems to be a big crap. Every place he gets you to break into, you give him all the info, he requests it, and then he'll inevitably say to you, you've got to sneak to 3 other locations in this area and get information from there. And you're like, oh, fuck. Anyway, but yes, I try to do everything by stealth, and it just takes longer and longer and begin to get frustrating. It's extremely Ubisoft with the collections, or the collectibles. Actually, remind me a lot of Infamous, which isn't Ubisoft, that we played last year.
Yeah.
It was made Poland's. We played it last year. Paul told me there was a DLC for that after we finished the game. But yeah,
is that Infamous Second Son or
Second Son? Yeah.
So there was DLC where you get the girl who can control purple light. It was quite good. It was another power that you were using. Yeah.
Was there something to origami?
Yeah. There was the origami thing you were doing all the way through that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I liked that game, but very much like that. If you go to, you're trying to lower the bad guy's reputation in each area, so you go and you can do some spray paint, or I don't know. So it reminds me a lot of that type of thing, going through each area, breaking down the bad people's, the right wing military group, breaking down their control in each area. So it's very, very, very much like that. The game is, so it scratches a certain itch. I'll say that. But Ubisoft games I get hooked into them. I'm trying not to. I'm just trying to play this game. I get through it. But yeah, it's good. That's not bad. Let me see. Then yesterday, because I was going away for the fireworks, I thought I've got to play a game. I needed another game to complete, or a game that I could chuck away, or as they used to say a few years back, the packer it after one of the previous hosts. But I tried a short hike. I have tried playing it before, maybe about 5 years ago, probably during the COVID shutdown. That played it, and I hated it. I really hated it. So I was thinking, I can play this for an hour, bin it, and say that's it. I'm never playing this game again. And I don't know, something happened, and the game was amazing. I loved it. It's only a few hours long, 3 or 4 hours long. And I thought I'll finish this in an hour and get rid of it. But I just sat there and loved it. The graphics are sweet. They're really great, brightly coloured. Story is nice. It's not overly syrupy. I was already feeling it, but then it had the last thing, you got this phone call. I'm not going to say more of it, but if you've listened to previous podcasts and you've played the game, you'll know what I mean. That hit me quite hard. Overall, it was a really good game. Now, I'm not going to go back and try and complete the whole lot because there's loads of stuff. But one thing I'll say, they say all you need is 7 golden feathers to reach the top. There's no way I could do it. I had to go off to get like 12 or something. So I spent a lot longer in the game than you actually really supposedly need to. But yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed that. So a good game. That's a short hike. Okay, so go on to news, which you have a massive document of all.
Yeah, please finish that sentence properly there. I have a massive document. Yes.
You have a massive document. And I like that down.
So one of the things that is obvious with the news this month and last month as well is the amount of tech layoffs going on. We know that Microsoft are now saying that they lose 64 cents for every dollar they invested into game studios that they bought. Which is, that's huge. And it might have more to do with the fact that whenever a game is then released by these game studios, it's released for free on Game Pass rather than being sold through traditional means. But they've laid off 3,200 people, and they've also spun off a whole bunch of their existing companies to be indie companies again. So Ninja Labs, Compulsion Games, Double Fine Studios, and Undead Labs are all back to being independent. They're no longer under the Xbox Studio banner, which I hope works out for them.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of those studios have produced some fairly good games over the years.
It's really annoying where they turn around and said, you're not making the profit. But like, you told them to make these small games.
Yeah.
And they gave them away for free. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Microsoft did this. Anyway, there's so many people that go, and you said 3,200. It's going to go up again, isn't it, from that?
It is. There's going to be more. Yep. Apparently Bethesda and ID Software are going to be hit hard as well.
Yeah. And then there's all the people that they hire in. They're not even official employees. They've all lost their contracts. The number could be three times higher.
It could be
crazy. Yeah. I don't know. Very, very scary.
One of the other stories I saw was when we set up our little internal Discord for the three of us to discuss, these sessions. We'd only been going for about a month, and I got banned for a little period, and I couldn't figure out what I'd done to get banned by Discord. And I thought it might have been because I'd connected via my work VPN at the same time that I was connected through my personal desktop. And it thought there was some weirdness going on there. But it turns out that Discord have banned 8,200 people for posting pictures that contain grids. And there was some weirdness in the algorithm that they were using to track people. And it ended up banning inappropriately. So I'm hoping that's what it was, because I think at the time I'd posted a picture of Crash Bandicoot or something like that. It was very unoffensive. And then the next thing I knew, I was banned for that. And it only lasted a couple of hours, but it was just weird that story's now come out saying that there has been a whole bunch of people that were banned for unknown reasons, and it appeared to relate to these pictures with grids in them.
Is that like the grids you get when you have a PNG with a transparent background? It's been just...
I don't know. I think it was just anything that had a grid, just an image that was like a grid image in it.
Yeah.
So it could have been anything. It could have been, a series of boxes that just formed a horizontal lines and vertical lines. Who knows?
Very good.
Any other news that caught your eye? I know there's one on the list there that you want to talk about.
Oh my god! If anybody owns the LG, is this the LG TVs?
That's the LG TV one, yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
LG. Okay, if anybody doesn't know, LG monitors on Windows 11 have apparently part of Windows. They can install an app that helps you use your LG monitor even better, but it also supplies you with adware. So you're getting adverts for McAfee.
Yeah.
It is from Gamers Nexus. They're doing a big expose on it at the moment. So they did it. They took a sample, and of the sample, I think it was 9 of 195 were for McAfee, and the other 5 were for LG's own products for other software that they use. And it's just, you're getting, LG are selling you the monitor they chose, they bought for themselves for the testing, was over $1,000, and you're still getting adverts. They are, I don't understand. I understand they want just money, but it's, how bad is it that you're paying that type of money and they're still trying to fleece you for adverts afterwards? It just irritates the crap out of me. So they're installing adware, or I'm not going to call them malware, but they are talking about this also. It's on the TVs. They listen to your voice. And in the terms and conditions, you have to get the approval of anybody who sits down in front of that TV to allow to tell you, inform them that LG will be recording their voice. So they're now being done with wiretapping. There's lawyers are going after them for wiretapping, and that's to do with their TVs. Well, outside of Windows laptops, I don't think their laptops have microphones, as far as I know.
I don't know about that, but certainly my 2 LG TVs this week, every time I turn it on now, I'm getting a prompt because I got 2 LG OLEDs, one in the dining room and one in the lounge, and they're both now popping up saying, "Hey, you need to agree to these new terms and conditions, which are not the same terms and conditions as when you bought the TV, because now there's one of them which is optional, which is to send the the diagnostic data. So that one's
Yeah.
optional, and that's turned off. But the other two that are no longer optional are, one, you need to sign up to receiving marketing material, and two, you
Adverts.
need to agree to AI being able to analyze your viewing habits. And so I'm not agreeing to any of that stuff. So I just hit the X button and bypass that and don't agree to their terms and conditions. But it now pops up every time I turn this television on. And you think,
Yeah.
really? How do you change the terms after I've bought the damn thing? How is that even allowed?
Yeah, it can't be legal. It
No.
can't be legal. It's just,
And I've got all the AI things turned off on both of them. So there's no listening, there's no anything. Assuming that tick box, which says it's off, is actually turning it off. The only way I'd know it is or isn't, though, is by analyzing my network packets. And I haven't gone that far yet to make sure that it is actually adhering to not doing it when you tell it not to do it.
Yeah, but you like using something like Wireshark or something.
Exactly, yeah.
That's a lot of work. So
It is. I've got Wireshark installed on my desktop, so I can do it. But I'd still have to route all the traffic, through my desktop rather than going directly to the router the way it is now.
You could capture it and give it to an AI to go through it for you. But it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it really frustrating. Just spyware and adware just being installed, especially like you pay such amount of money. LG have. Okay, I live in Japan, and some of the best monitors out there for gaming are made by Samsung. Samsung monitors are not allowed for sale in Japan. They can sell everything else. They can't sell their monitors here. There's some agreement. I don't know what it is, but there's some disagreement. They cannot sell their monitors here. So next I was looking at was LG. So I was, if I ever eventually, when, let's be positive, when I eventually get around to building a desktop, I'm going to use it. Was going to use an LG. And just thinking, now I don't really trust them.
No,
I had no reason not to trust them. And now this can be just. So people, if you have LG monitors or TVs, be careful. The TVs, if you can, I don't know, they're all smart, so they're all connected to the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how you do it, but yeah, be aware.
Yeah, make sure you got pants on when you're watching television.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, you said they're going to watch, they're watching what you're watching. So I assume they're doing for adverts, but, be like, honey, why are we getting adverts for dildos or flashlights? Like, I don't know. It's weird world we live in. You have another story here about EA adding advertising into the platform.
It's a brand new advertising platform. Yes.
Xbox is doing the same as well.
Yeah.
So
a new platform to integrate advertising into games more seamlessly.
Yeah,
I know. It's just dragging gaming down into the toilet, isn't it? It's just ramming adverts down your face for something that you are buying. I mean, I could understand it if they gave you the game at a discounted price, but if you're paying full ticket for the game, then there should be no reason to have advertising.
You're not buying the game; you're renting the game.
That's very true as well. Yes, especially now we don't have physical purchases.
Yeah.
Because they're all disappearing as well, aren't they?
Yeah. I don't. The PSN network was down the other day as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nobody could play. I thought that was Xbox only. You couldn't. Maybe it's locally installed. Xbox doesn't allow you to play if the network is down, but PlayStation used to if you have the disc or.
I think it depends on the game. Yeah, it'll depend on the game. Some of them will enforce that you need to be permanently connected.
I was playing at that time. I was playing a short hike on Epic at the time, so I didn't have any problems. But I don't know. Weird, very weird. Was there any other stories you wanted?
No, I think that's about it. We could go on all day, but nobody cares about half the things that I find interesting in news. So we're all good.
And games next month. You have
games next month. Yeah, there's a couple coming out that look quite good. Anything that took your interest?
Let me see. Well, Genshin Attack came out last month. It's got really good ratings. A Metacritic, I think it's 88% at the moment. 9 out of 10. IGN, Steam has got a 10 out of 10. I really want to play that game. It looks mad. It looks crazy. Genshin Attack is the train that's like a skateboard, hopping from track to track around. I think it's Tokyo. It's going around. Densha is the Japanese for train. So it's a really weird game. I want to play that. That's from last month. But next month's Resonance, A Plague Tale Legacy. I've played the first Plague Tale. The second one's on my backlog for this year. I liked the first one. Hopefully the second one's as good. And the third one is coming out this month, August. I'm not sure what date it was, but a quick glance down, I can't even see it on the list of games coming out this month. I'm fairly sure I read it earlier. It is not there. Did I make this up?
Possibly. Fever Dream.
Look, it's September. Look, it's September. There's no August.
August is Beasts of Reincarnation is next month.
It's Plague Tale that's coming out 27th. PC, PS5, and Xbox X.
Yep.
When they say Xbox X, is that both of them, or is that just the more advanced one? I don't know. But Xbox, both coming out. So that I'm looking forward to. I would love to. You mentioned that's the only one I picked out myself. I looked at. So what ones did you mention?
Beast of Reincarnation is one I can see myself playing. It's a one-person, one-dog action role-playing game. Follows Emma the Sealer, an 18-year-old woman with blight powers who can manipulate plants to traverse and fight enemies. It's all based in post-apocalyptic Japan, and you're trying to save the world from this creature that's blighted the natural world. And it looks a bit like a Studio Ghibli type work in terms of its art style. Looks really interesting.
It does look good. I'm just looking at it now. It's really good.
There was one of the other ones I looked at that's coming up next month. One called Rivage. It's an immersive sci-fi puzzle adventure set aboard a space station. You wake up as Miranda, forced to explore, solve intricate puzzles to unravel the fate of your missing crew. I thought this looked like it was right up yours and Richard's alley.
Yes.
You guys would be lapping this up, I reckon.
It looks very like Tacoma. Did you ever play Tacoma?
Yeah, Tacoma, yeah.
Without the VR. It looks a bit like that. It is. This would be something I would love to play.
And one of the other ones I thought that you guys might love as well is one called Mistfall Hunter, which the blurb says is Elden Ring mixed with the Arc Raiders. And that just set the bells off going, oh, wait a minute, that sounds like something you guys both play. So it's ARPG elements. Mistfall Hunter is a dark fantasy extraction ARPG. Combine skills, talents, and gear for each class in thrilling combat. Whether you team up or go solo, one thing remains certain. Only by fighting your way through can you return with a full haul. Good luck, Guild Hunter. Yeah, it's exactly what it says in the box. Elden Ring with Arc Raiders combined.
Yeah, it does look good, doesn't it? The graphics are nice. Yeah. Thank you. More games to miss it.
Yeah, add it to the list for next year.
That looks really good.
And I only had two more that were coming out this month that I was interested in. One was Star Wars Zero Company. Looks interesting. Apparently there's a one-use only permadeath Jedi member of your team. And once they die, that's it. You're never getting them back for any other game. But it's a squad management game, and they're not my sort of thing.
That's XCOM, is it?
It's very XCOM style, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was never into them, but last year, one of the listeners got me to play a game that was free or coming off PSN, and I liked it a lot. So I have it on that game on wish list. But yeah, so this may be something I'm interested in. Never haven't really played them before.
Yeah, it's turn-based tactical management of various party members. Yeah,
it basically is just like a puzzle trying to sort out.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the complete opposite of that is Truxton Extreme. Truxton's one that gets mentioned on Retro Gaming Podcast quite a lot because it was a first of the bullet hell shooters. Truxton Extreme makes original Truxton look like Star Wars, Space Invaders. You know, you got one bullet going at a time. This thing looks mental. The blurb says it delivers white-hot shooting thrills for masters and novices alike. Novices are not going to get a chance in here. There's so many bullets on the screen at once on it. It's just absolutely mental. I would love to think I'd be good at this. I'd buy it, and I'd play it exactly once, and then never look at it again. It would be like all of the Housemarque games I own. Every one of those I want to play, and then I realise, nah, not for me.
That game looks crazy.
Yeah.
migraine waiting to happen. There's so many colors on the screen, so much flashing lights. Yeah, that looks quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the only ones I had on the list. Was there anything else that's coming out that took your fancy, Brian?
No, whereas Elden Ring is coming out on Switch 2. So if anybody hasn't played it yet, go play it. It's awesome. But that was it really for me. Yeah. Lives at Plea is also coming out on Switch 2. Game I have got on backlog. I believe it's really, really good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it. Do you have questions? Was there questions from the community?
Yes, there was 2 questions. And one of them I've finally worked out. So let's start with Paul, host from season 13. It says, with Sony saying that disc sales have slowed considerably to help justify the end of physical game releases from January 2028, although the reselling market does not benefit them financially, are Sony failing to factor in how many times a disc is resold, and that many users can only afford to commit to the cost of the consoles based on renting, trading in, or buying used and new games at discounted prices? Will the potentially super high price of the PS6 and the lack of used or discounted physical new games heavily discount console sales with the ever-increased of living? And then the question 2 that he's got is, with the PlayStation 6 potential launch date of 2028, would the biggest threat to digital-only PlayStation 6 initial hardware sales figures be the PS5 with the option to continue to buy the latest games on disc for the next 4 years? In my humble opinion, Sony have done their customers dirty. By January 2028, PS5 Pro will have been available for 3 years and 7 weeks, and the PS6 could very well feel like an incremental iPhone 16 to iPhone 17 upgrade to the regular gaming household. Let's be honest, how many of the PS6 exclusive titles could not have been optimized for the PS5, other than some funky new PS6 controller exclusive features that will add little to the gaming experience? Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but when the PS5 came out, and I'm not sure how soon after it came out you picked one up, Brian, but we got one probably in the first couple of months.
Okay.
And it sat here unused because the PS4 was still doing everything we wanted to do, and there was no real difference in the quality of the games between the two.
Yeah.
To answer the second part first, I think the same thing will happen with the PS6. I think that they'll invariably have backwards compatibility built in, because they'd be really daft not to have. But that will mean that most people that buy a PS6 will just be playing PS5 games, basically. And so it definitely will be, as Paul has said, this incremental increase in capability rather than any massive change like we saw from PS1 to PS2 or PS2 to PS3, for example. I still don't really feel that I'm getting the most value out of my PS5 because I don't see it doing anything that PS4 Pro could do or couldn't do. Obviously, the PS4 sounds like a jet engine when I start it up nowadays, though, and the PS5 doesn't. But quality of game-wise, there's not a big difference really between the two. I'm also someone that never trades in games, and so I appreciate the physical nature of buying the game on disc and looking at the relatively large piles of traded in games of a local game shop and the fact that most games only have an online component, which is a fixed lifespan. I can see Sony not seeing the value in continuing to support the distribution method, but I can also see that there are gamers out there that simply can't afford to buy new and that do depend on picking up something that's 2 months old or 3 months old in the second-hand bin. I view that slow death of the physical media in the same way as the death of floppy and CD. I just view it as that next iteration, and these guys are seeing that they can get the lion's share of the profits, so it's in their interest to do that. It's just convincing the public that they're doing the right thing, which is going to be the hard sell. We all seem to have an ability to find the money when we need it, though, to fund our addictions.
Yeah.
They're obviously depending on that.
Yeah.
Whether you end up selling your granny or whether you end up living on beans on toast for a month because the new games come out, I'm fairly sure there will still be people that will buy these games when they come out full priced. All we can hope is that in the act of being the only distribution method available, they reduce the prices so they're not making the profits they make currently off the physical media. And then that way I only have to sell one kidney when I buy a game and not both. So that's my answer to that fairly long question. Thank you, Paul.
But it's written on Stu's notes. It's like a page and a half. So I'll do like you did question 2 first. Question 2 first. I think PlayStation 6 won't be a major improvement because, as far as I know, CPU-wise, architecture-wise, there hasn't been a massive jump. RAM is too expensive to try and push it through with RAM. The graphics cards have been a jump, but the price of those to make a big jump is just too expensive because a 5090 is still $1,500 at the moment, or even sterling. So they can't, if they're going to try at all to bring the console in at less than 1,000, they can't. They won't be much of a jump. So, as you said, I held on to PlayStation at PS4 Pro. I changed to PS5 about 3 months before I moved over here. So I moved here 4 years ago now. So I don't know how long that is after. I didn't buy one at the start anyway. It was just crazy. There was no compelling reason to, but I didn't want to have to try and go and buy one here. Thought I'd get it first before I come over. And the only advantage was it was much quieter than my PS4. As for the first question, are Sony failing to factor in how many times a disc is resold? I don't think Sony is failing to factor that in. That's lost money for them. If you resell a game, it's a game they haven't sold to somebody who wants to buy the game. So if they can catch that sale, even if it's on sale later on, if some patient gamer will pay 20 quid for it rather than paying 60 or 70 or 80 at launch, or they'll buy it 3 years down the road. That's still another sale for them. That's more money for them and not money they've lost. So it totally makes sense for them to try and capture the entire market and kill the whole resale second-hand market, because that's just lost money for them. All the games companies have thought that for years. So if they can try and capture the market, they will do. And it looks like they're going to. There is, I don't know, I can't see them ever allowing discs back into, especially first party, because it's just lost money. I did see that, who was it? One of the games, I don't know if it's the head of From Software, said that if people want a game, no.
Or maybe Ubisoft, was it?
Rockstars.
Oh, was it Rockstar? Yeah,
Rockstar?
Yeah.
He said if the people want games as physical, they should have it. But then he's selling his game as a physical box with a code inside that you can't resell. So that just kills the market anyway. So I don't know. Yeah. And if the PS6 launches as digital only, there's no rush to buy that. There's definitely no reason to go out and buy that at the moment. I couldn't afford it, especially if it's going to be near €1,000 or 1,000 sterling. Yeah, that's it. I can't. Yeah, I thought we have cheaper versions of PlayStation and cheaper versions of. I mentioned this. It was last month. I don't know if it was on the show or just myself and Mitch were talking. But there's cheapest versions of the Switch and PlayStation here, Japanese only. You can't put a different language on them. The markets are Japanese only. So you open up, you've got the Sony PSN, but it's in Japanese. You cannot switch the language. I have a Japanese account for the Japanese market here. I've never used it, but I set it up once because I thought maybe I'd be able to switch the language and then switch my whole account over there at some point. But there's no point. It's all in Japanese, and my Japanese is not good enough to go through that. So I can't go and buy a cheaper one. But people here will have cheaper software or cheaper hardware. But wages are so low; it's still so expensive. But I think the PlayStation 6 will be very delayed, like the PlayStation 5 was in acceptance over here. Yeah. Now what we need is Rich to come along and say exactly what I said in 3 words or 4 words, and nice and succinct and clear.
But you're right. I think the price of RAM and that sort of things, they're not going to be able to build the machine they were hoping to build.
Yeah.
And so that's going to delay any sort of release of it unless they've got a stockpile of their own that they've not been telling anybody about.
Yeah. I know they supposedly buy RAM. I say I know. I've read that they buy RAM well in advance. But how much would they have bought? Because they're talking about this RAM price or RAM apocalypse going until 2028. It may go further. Hopefully it'll fail soon, but I don't think they'll have bought 2 or 3 years worth of RAM just to have ready.
Yeah.
Stockpile, I don't know. Even if there's only options, the price will have gone up. Can they buy options? Is that what they're buying? Maybe it's options they're buying.
Possibly, yeah. But then, I mean, if there's this massive demand for RAM from other places that are willing to pay more, then There's always a way to get out of those options.
They'll be back at the end of the queue for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Next question was from who?
From Blair. Blair Ferguson.
Blair. I look forward to these. Do you want to try reading it? Or
Sure. I'll read it out. I suggest that you reach deep down inside yourself there and try and find something that will keep you awake just a little while longer. Because this transmission coming up, well, may just rekindle your will to live. Given you are currently engaged in the Year of Shame challenge, that we are 2/3 of the way through the year, and none of you have used any Joker's gifts, etc. What is your game of the year so far, and why is that? So I'm going to start by saying, I've worked you out, Blair. That's a silent running quote from 1972. I need to go back and look at all of the previous questions to see where the quotes that are on the front of those come from.
Rich said something about last month as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, very good.
Okay. So I am guilty of having one gift this year. I don't know if you remember back in episode 5, we had the klaxon go off for Battlefield 6 that my Thursday night games group had bought me. But other than that, I've got no interest in spending a Joker yet. I'm more than happy to wait until December at this stage, or January, and then just buy big in January once the challenge is over. So the game for me so far for the year, it's going to be a bit of a cop-out, as I tend to finish everything at start, and by that stage I'm over a game completely. But I've tried to divide it up into a number of categories and then pick from those categories to figure out what the overall winner is. And certainly the best story so far has been Clear Obscure. I know I hit a wall for a while there, and so there was periods where I was really not happy with the game. But by the end of it, and by the time I got to that finish, that story had sucked me in, and I was really, really enjoying it. The best game concept I've played this year is Anoon, though. I loved that it managed to convey that same stress that you got from the Sentinel and Sentinel Returns in a modern game, with all the same mechanics applied. You know, all it was the main baddie, or the boss on each level, just turning slowly, and if you were in his line of sight, that was it. You were going to get killed. And it became this frantic sort of spin around the map, trying to get higher than them and stay out of those beams, just so that you could complete each level. The game world I enjoy spending the time in most, though, is not Clear Obscure or Anoon. Oddly enough, it's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. At the end, not at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, it was frustrated me. And also, there was a game I played called Horus, which I really enjoyed spending time in that game world. I thought that was a cool little game. But Indy gets that medal by the narrowest of margins. And then the best gameplay for the year so far has been Arcade Paradise. I loved that it was doing the management of the laundry, and then also the management of the arcade, and playing each of the games and maintaining all of the games. And I thought that was quite a cool mix, because you were never doing just one thing at once. There was always different things going on to keep you interested. And then the best music in a game so far has to be Sackboy's Big Adventure. As I mentioned at the time, anything that's got David Bowie and Depeche Mode in it wins an award in my book. But the overall winner so far for me for Game of the Year, from what I've played, has to be Clear Obscure. I think that was the most well-rounded world, and a game that really kept me busy for the better part of 2.5, 3 months. Before I finally cracked it and worked out how to be playing it, and then just smashed through it. So Clear Obscure is the winner so far in my book. What about you, Brian?
You've gone through different sections. You divided the Game of the Year up in so many different sections. I really thought through that. So I'm sitting here going, oh my god, I didn't. It's not okay. Game of the Year would be Blueprints, just for the depth and the number of puzzles. If it wasn't for the level of randomness, it becomes grueling trying to replay rooms just because you know there's a solution and you can't get there because you can't get the room to spawn, or a series of rooms to spawn so that you can do something that you need to, and that is so frustrating. The puzzles are amazing, really well thought out. I want to go back, but I want to be able to juggle the randomness, increase, and pull out some of the rooms I want, so I can get the puzzles. Because it's like that itch. I know I've solved the puzzle, but I cannot do it because I can't get them to spawn. So it's the same thing with Returnal. I can't get the rooms to spawn. It's really, really frustrating in Blueprints. The game is amazing. There is a story there. It's probably not the best, but just doing sheer puzzles, amazing. So the game of the year so far for me has got to be Clear Obscure. It's a month of pure joy just playing that game. I never fully got the battle system down. I never hit. I know you at later stage you can go beyond the 9,999 damage and people are getting to millions. I never hit that level, but so I never clicked fully on how to do the battles. I got my tank and I got my healer all set up to keep everything going, but I never fully did it properly. I couldn't get the stances for Miel right. I think it was Miel had stances. I couldn't figure that out. But the game, the story was excellent. There was good punches in the story that really upset me, and the end twist, excellent. And the battling was, even though I didn't fully get the battling, it was really good fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, and the exploration was cool. So that was a really good game. The story, the characters, music was out of this world. I still listen to it. I don't tend to listen to game music. It's brilliant. So far this year, that's my game of the year.
No, you nailed it. That's exactly where I was as well. I never got the battle system down fully. I was able to block but not parry.
Yeah.
And so I never maxed that out and did what you see other people doing. But story wise and music wise and game world wise, I think it just won me over there at the end.
Yeah. It was an extremely good game. I'd love to if I had the time. I can put this artificial limits on me that I have to finish so many games this year, or certain games this year. Then I would spend time trying to learn that battle system. I think that could be fun even to do that. But yeah, it was a really cool game. The whole the atmosphere in the game, the Frenchness of it was really cool. Yeah, I liked that a lot. Yeah. So that'd be my answer to your question there. Thank you both for the questions. That was really good of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Especially seeing as they're only going out in one group at the moment. So thank you.
Yeah. So that was the end of the questions. The only other thing we got, I think Rich, who is not feeling well, was going to give us a recording. So we might hand over to Rich here, shall we?
It was supposed to be after we play games. So this will probably be about his games and TV that he's watched. But we're playing it by ear tonight. We've just remembered. So we'll hand you over to Rich now.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And sorry I couldn't make it for the episode. I'm just doing the edit now and you're doing a cracking job. I thought I'd just chime in with a couple of bits of update. So, telly-wise this month, the main thing has been, and big shout out to Stu for this, I've watched Spider Noir. I've watched the 8 episodes of that series and super enjoyed it. It was really, really good. I thought quite stylishly done, quite humorous, a good story to follow through. And of course, Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage and doing all sorts of crackers things. I'm sure he had a hand in directing it all and let himself go wild. So really enjoyed that. I've watched loads of World Cup and I watch a highlight show of the Tour de France every year, actually, because I somehow later in life have come to really enjoy that as well. So that's been good. Books-wise, I've just finished one book called Hunt for the Golden Scarab. It's a children's book. I've been reading it to my kids at night time, and we womped through that during July. And actually really good fun. It's all about a set of kids who can go through time doors and go back in time. So they found themselves off to ancient Egypt, meeting Tutankhamun and trying to see off the bad guys. So that was good fun. And then games-wise, just finished 2 during July. The first one, an absolute cracker, gets 9.5 out of 10, according to me. It's called To the Moon, and it's a kind of top-down, pixelated, makes you think it's going to be a JRPG with lots of battling at the beginning, but it very much isn't. It's written with humour, it's got twists, it had tears at the end, there's some puzzles and mini-games in there as well. But basically, an absolutely amazing story, which I'm not going to say anything about at all other than just to recommend it. It's about 5 or 6 hours worth of gameplay and a heart-jolting story unfolds from within it. So that was one I was very, very glad to scour up from the backlog and play. And then the second is a game called Beacon Pines, which I think I'd played probably a couple of hours of it previously and had done my usual, pick up a game, play it for 2 hours, think it's really good, and then just forget all about it because something else has come out. So I went back to the beginning of this one and played it through from the beginning, and it's really, really cute. So there's lots of kind of animal characters or anthropomorphic, whatever you say, and they're having a bit of an adventure in their town. There's like a fertilizer company that's doing bad things and people are disappearing, and some of these animal kids are off on an adventure to find out what's going on and getting themselves into all sorts of pickles. But the interesting thing about this story is it operates on a little bit of a time loop. So it was told through storybook presentation. So you'd literally have a narrator and a page of a book open on your screen, and they'd kind of introduce the chapter, turn the page, and then there'd be a nice image, which would then come forward to the screen, and you'd be in that game world. But through the exploration of the game world, you'd start finding items, and sometimes those items would flash up on your screen as kind of like an achievement would, and it would give you a keyword related to that item. And then what would happen when you go back at the end of a chapter, you'd kind of leave the scene on the screen and go back into the storybook itself, and then you'd find that you'd get choices. So the narrator would read 3/4 of a sentence and then allow you to slot in one of the words that you'd found during your exploration, and essentially that would then give you a branch of story that you could go down. Now, it's much more linear than it sounds, in that the words that you find early in the game will inevitably lead to a kind of a bad ending of the story. But in pursuing that bad ending, you will then find other words, which then, when you get the end, oh dear, that's not a very good ending, you can go back, you can navigate back, slot in a different word, and then play out that eventuality. So it was actually, even though it was linear, it was actually really, really cute and interesting to sort of see the different ways the end might pan out. So 2 more games ticked off. I have started some more, but I will save those for next time. Been playing a bit more Rocket League. I am clawing my way up that diamond rank, trying to get myself to champ, which I promised I'd do by the end of the year. But that's pretty much it for me. I'll keep it nice and brief and hand you back to the lads to close out the episode. Take care.
Welcome back. Welcome back. So what have we got left? We've got nothing left.
Just the socials.
Just the socials. So I'm very sure Rich probably put in his goodbyes as well there. So thank you very much for listening. The socials will go very soon after this. But thank you for listening. Thank you for sending questions. Send more. Join the MLG group. It's not the group to be. YOS. Join the Year of Shame group on Facebook. You can send more questions.
Or alternatively, fix up our access to MLG.
No, I haven't even tried to reply to people recently. I think that goes through. If you reply, you just can't start. But I don't know. Well, that's a bit. So thank you for listening. Hopefully you'll hear more of us next month. Thank you very much. And say goodbye from me.
Yeah, bye for me. Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.
Rich, we hope you're feeling better. And I'll catch you in a month.
Syphilis is easy treated this year. At this time. So don't worry about it. See you. Good luck. Bye.
Cheers all.
Onto the socials. You can email questions and comments to us at yearofshame@gmail.com. We're on the YouTube, MLGY lowercase OS. And you can contact us through Blue Sky, X, Twitch, and Facebook if you just type Year of Shame, all lowercase. Thanks.